All right, well, we're back, and we're back on the Epstein files.
Has been arrested because of the Epstein files. He got stripped of his title, and now the king is saying, let me state clearly, the law must take its course. I have learned with the deepest concerns the news about Andrew and the suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now, if you're like me, you'd think that misconduct is related to women and the accusations that have been levied against the prince. But that is not the case. It's actually about the leaking of private information while serving as the UK's special representative for international trade and investment. This is because it was discovered that the Duke would sometimes forward information to Jeffrey Epstein that was obviously sensitive, like this, Helmand high-value commercial properties for foreign investment, or this, a trip report for Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shenzhen. Obviously, the former Prince Andrew would have access to insider information or confidential information as part of his role, and forwarding that to a financial trading file is probably not a great idea. This is also deeply concerning because it blows a hole in Prince Andrew's big lies where he said he cut off Jeffrey Epstein in the late 2010s, because this is right about the time that he's engaging him once again in all of this contact. So for him to previously had said, oh yeah, I found out he was a bad guy and I cut him off, I had to travel to visit him to cut him off. Suddenly that doesn't hold water when emails come out where you're sharing possible state secrets with this guy. Here, Andrew, the former Duke, is sending a message to Jeffrey Epstein asking, I am checking, but as this is a US institution, do you know of anyone who might take a look? Talking about a company called Aria Petroleum, which was sent to him, which says the company needs a $200 million working capital line due to significantly increased business from US DOD. So Andrew would have had access to all this deal flow, all these things, and it looks like, at least in some instances, he would actually seek possible investment from Jeffrey Epstein for some of these companies. I want to call back your mind to this interview because it's so important to realize how this guy has lied to our faces for years before we address the bigger elephant in the room.
He was released in July.
Will you ever run an actual poll on the soundboard? Aren't you curious? Yeah, I have. It's called subscribe if you like the soundboard. And every time I say that, people subscribe. Otherwise, I'm taking the soundboard away. Everybody subscribe right now if you love the soundboard for free with a Twitch Prime, or with gifted subs, or with a $6 subscription. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. We've gotten 0 subs. Bruh. That's crazy. Never mind. The subs are rolling in. Oh! Oh, shit. Oh, baby. People love the fucking soundboard. Kind of feels like people like it. Kind of feels like people like it a lot. God damn, ladies and gentlemen, god damn, we're out here.
And pussy too.
We're out here with the soundboard. It's your boy, Hasanabi. What if I did it like that? What if I did it like that going forward?
Liberal.
Yeah, all the ones and twos on the soundboard, Hasanabi.
La la la, human smuggling, fentanyl deaths.
The subs are rolling in.
Chopping up children's genitals. La 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 la.
Everybody show your love to the soundboard by re-upping your subscriptions, because at the Hasanabi broadcast,
legalize comedy.
That's right, we legalize comedy.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. And most importantly, at the Hasanabi broadcast, we are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel. We'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk. All right. R.I.P. Big Kirk. Beer, 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 beer. Don't have that one on the soundboard. Have this one, though.
Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together. I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him.
Well, there you have it. Prince Andrew says he had to go see and tell Epstein personally that, oh, we can't be friends anymore because you're convicted. I can't do that for you. And this is late in December 2010, where he says he went to cut off Jeffrey Epstein because he now knew that he's a convicted. But again, if you look at the dates of all of these deals being passed along to Epstein, all these messages being passed along, it's right around the 2010, December 2010, where supposedly he had one thing in mind, and that was cut off Epstein. Actually, he might have been passing along state secrets. Now, obviously, a formal investigation by the UK police is going to commence, but that's what this arrest appears to be about so far: misconduct in public office, his responsibilities to the people of the UK at the time, and how these emails could have affected that. But it's this larger context of Andrew lying about his association with Epstein that I want to bring to the front of this next conversation, because obviously Prince Andrew's biggest problem with the Epstein files isn't necessarily the confidential information he shared. It's obviously the allegations made against him, specifically by a woman named Virginia Giuffre, who was captured in an image with Prince Andrew at the time when she was a young lady, and then later she alleged to have been trafficked to Prince Andrew and that they had together. Andrew was asked about this in an interview and famously denied it. Not only denied it, but said it all couldn't have happened because he didn't sweat at the time.
She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating, because I have a...
Fix your goddamn internet already. Oh my God. Just helping Hasan out while he was away from the soundboard? Okay, dude. Fucking chill.
Peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time. And that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time. Because
if only Coffeezilla knows. If only Coffeezilla knew what she's saying now. This same lady.
I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat.
Well, there's another monster whopper from the former Prince Andrew, because of course he claims, oh, I couldn't have been there because she describes me as sweating, and it's impossible for me to sweat. But of course, some photos emerged where Prince Andrew appears to be sweating like a pig. But of course, all of this is the lead up to the bigger denial, right? It's not about whether he sweats or not. It's about his word versus Virginia Giuffre's.
You can say categorically that you don't recall meeting Virginia Roberts, dining with her, dancing with her at Tramp, or going on to have sex with her in a bedroom in a house in Belgravia.
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
It never happened. And I want to say Virginia Roberts was her maiden name. Giuffre was her later name. That's why they referred to her as Roberts there. But what's so interesting about what the Epstein files have revealed, remember that we were told it's a big nothing burger, nothing's going to come out of this. But nearly all of Prince Andrew's lies in this interview have been discovered now that we have contemporaneous communication, such as this communication between Jeffrey Epstein and a guy named Thomas Landon. Now, Landon formerly worked for the New York Times until 2019. Thomas Landon says here, I think the big issue is separating yourself from Andrew. I mean, in the end, he had consensual sex with Virginia Roberts, and Virginia Roberts worked for you. The rest is atmospherics. Now, this is a huge allegation because Thomas Landon is basically admitting, yeah, of course, Virginia Roberts had sex with Prince Andrew. And of course, she worked for you. So this is a tacit admission back in 2015, I mean, way early on, that the substance of the story of them actually having sex is true. But the prince basically says it never happened at all. And so I don't really know how credible that is. He's basically lied through his teeth this entire time about his...
Your reaction to this interview is how I found you. This says, oh, fuck. My internet is so busted and dusted. Oh, my God. What is happening? I can't even turn on a YouTube link. Are we serious right now?
If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
You were invited to that.
I know it's effing. I know. Chat, there's going to be another fucking technician that comes in today, okay? I know. Have you tried restarting your Wi-Fi? Have you tried restarting your brain, dude? I just like... It's fucked up. Okay, I have a technician coming today as well, every single fucking day.
Ability to sweat, meeting her at all, there's a photo of it, and then of course having sex with her. Internally they're like, yeah, of course that happened. And that's just the Virginia Giuffre part. That's to say nothing of the lies about cutting off Epstein in 2010 when it appears that the exact opposite happened and that he was passing along key information from his role as this trade envoy. I should also mention that this has been a closely examined story for a long time. Andrew Lowney released a book exploring his friendship with Epstein and his relationships, alleging a lot of damaging things related to Andrew's personal life. The book alleges that while staying in Thailand, more than 40 women were brought to his hotel room. Hotel staff were used to foreigners bringing in girls, but amazed that more than 10 a day were going to Andrew's room, Lowney writes. The book also alleges that compromising material on Andrew may have been passed to Israel's Mossad Secret Service. So it isn't as if this is Andrew's first time getting in trouble, but the Epstein files have confirmed.
I will say, as far as independent media goes, I'm happy that there are YouTubers out there, whether it be Moist Critical, whether it be CoffeeZilla, that is like not only keeping the story alive, but also covering it from the Israel angle as well. Because let's be real, this is an often avoided angle of coverage in mainstream news. It's you know, apparently I can't even fucking cover it here at the Hasanabi broadcast because I keep effing every single time. Every single time I see the Israel angle was the one I expected, and then I get destroyed. Shut up, chat. Deal with the Fs. It's just like, hopefully it's gonna go away, you know? Hopefully.
A lot of what has been whispered about or suspected for a long time about his improper handling of his relationship with Epstein, of his position in the 2010s. We also discovered in the files the DOJ actually approached Prince Andrew about information regarding someone named Peter Nygaard, who was, quote, believed to have trafficked minor and adult victims. According to the UK Telegraph, the Duke is understood to have stayed at Mr. Nygaard's mansion with his ex-wife in June 2000. Later, that same guy was convicted on assaults of 4 women, ranging in age from 16 to 28 at the time of offenses. So Andrew has been embroiled in controversy for a while. This may just be the first thing that he's actually stuck with, is this charge of inappropriate leaking of confidential information. I don't know. I am pleased, I guess, on the one hand, to see that something has come from all of this. But sadly, it's just kind of this, I don't want to say lesser charge, but it really does feel like with everything that has been alleged against Prince Andrew, this is probably the lowest thing he could be in trouble for. But then again, on the bright side, based on photos that came from Reuters after Prince Andrew's arrest, it does look like he's learning to sweat again.
Billionaire Les Wexner telling the House Oversight Committee he was naive, foolish, and gullible to put any trust in Jeffrey Epstein, and while I was conned, I have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide, according to his planned remarks, and saying he never saw Epstein act inappropriately. The founder of the business empire that included Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie & Fitch, Wexner played a vital role in transforming Epstein into a financial advisor with ties to the ultra-wealthy. For 16 years, Epstein even held power of attorney over Wexner's vast personal fortune. In a more than 6-hour behind-closed-doors deposition from his sprawling Ohio compound, Wexner admitting he did once travel to Epstein's private island. but maintaining to lawmakers that he never spoke with Epstein again after 2007, amid learning of Epstein's first criminal investigation for sex crimes and after discovering Epstein stole vast sums of money from Wexner. In the more than 3 million pages of the Justice Department's Epstein files, Wexner's name appears hundreds of times, including initially listed as a possible co-conspirator. Though the DOJ later determined there was limited evidence regarding his involvement, a legal representative for Wexner previously told ABC News federal prosecutors informed his lawyers in 2019 that Mr. Wexner was neither a co-conspirator nor target in any respect. Committee Democrats accusing Wexner of trying to downplay his once close relationship with Epstein.
The more this deposition goes on, the less Wexner knows about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
And saying the billionaire told the committee he has never been questioned by the FBI.
There is no single person that was more involved in providing Jeffrey Epstein with the financial support to commit his crimes than Les Wexner.
Annie Farmer says her sister was assaulted by Epstein and his now convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell as an adult when the two were visiting Wexner in Ohio in 1996. Also a survivor of Epstein and Maxwell's abuse at 16 years old, Annie tells me she doesn't believe Wexner's denials.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you just got like a whole ass rapist, pedophilic billionaire, and he's like, he owns half of the state of Ohio, by the way. And there's like nothing you can do about it. And he is the primary funding vehicle behind the institution that is Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that wild? Like, just think about that for a second. Is that why Ohio is a meme? Is that the psyop? No, I mean, it just happens to have given us some horrible monsters. Jim Jordan, J.D. Vance. Yeah, Ohio catches that stray. Let's be real. The Paul brothers. Likud James. Okay, calm down. But yeah, I mean, his output was fine until recently. Ohio clip from the deposition.
Just wanted to start with a question around U.S. Senator John Husted, and it's been reported that you gave him something like $117,000 in donations. Is that correct?
I think you mean John Husted.
John Husted, yeah.
I don't know how much money I gave him.
Would that sound about right? It's a substantial sum.
Well, I'm thinking I met John when he was a state representative. I'm sure I helped him. I helped him politically when he ran for lieutenant governor. I probably contributed to his senatorial campaign. So is it possible over time I would have given him that much money? It is.
Just wanted to start with a question around
It's crazy, man. And you know Ohio's still going to vote. Like, they'll be like, he's not a Democrat. It's fine. What do you mean? He's our pedophile. He's our pedophile, brother. Fuck you mean? Who cares? I mean, they're doing that for Donald Trump. So
Epstein is a con man. Was there some element of con that perhaps also related to, Wexner?
Oh, shit.
Sure.
You're right, though. We talked about Ohio, but you know what? Pennsylvania gave us Netanyahu. That's right. It's cooked. Go Birds, though.
But I don't think that means that he had no idea what was going on and he was not a participant in some way.
A Wexner spokesperson telling ABC News in response, the billionaire, quote, never even heard of Maria Farmer until her account surfaced in the media, and in a separate statement saying Wexner reiterated to lawmakers he had, quote, no knowledge and did not participate in Epstein's illegal conduct. George.
Okay, Jay, thanks.
Do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So,
I mean, what do you say? What do you say? What do you do? Right?
it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public, because let's make this transparent. The survivors deserve that, the public deserves that, but you know, the Republican member of Congress who is running this hearing or this investigation is trying to protect the president. So let's get to what's really at stake here.
Just on this hearing, and obviously I'm sure Donald Trump and his administration would reject your characterization of what's going on, and he's denied
How
any
can they
wrongdoing.
reject it? They
But
can't answer questions, and the Attorney General was clearly unwilling to answer questions. She works for him. So let's be very clear here. According to what we now know, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is mentioned, some say, 1 million times in the files. People in his cabinet are mentioned.
That figure's correct?
That's what it says, you know, on the internet over and over again. Well, so let's find out what the truth is. That's why we want it to be transparent and in public.
New messages between Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein released in the Epstein files have ignited a civil war in a MAGA world. In one message, Bannon suggests President Trump should be removed from.
Why do you think she's still a bill? She doesn't give a fuck, dude. What do you mean? Keep up appearances? I don't think they're like actually together. I don't think they've been actively together for a long time. They're just together. That's like that's like a known secret too. It's not even like, when's the last time you've seen them together, like physically, other than like some very few campaign events? They have not been. Actually, bro is 26. Bro is 2026. They're poly. Oh my God.
Office during his first term for erratic behavior. The Department of Justice also released a 2-hour video of Bannon interviewing Epstein for a potential documentary. This is Bannon asking about Epstein's time spent in prison in 2008.
You're telling me that during that day, you never had a moment you sat there and go, what the f have I done with my life that I'm in a 6x9 jail cell?
You're suggesting I was sort of somewhat depressed, and how could this happen to me?
I'm not saying depressed. I'm saying a moment of awareness of how could I get myself into this situation.
No, I would just say how strange that this happens. Just, it's strange. People would either ask to borrow money or make some other types of comments about.
In
the beginning.
What were the comments? At the beginning, what were the comments?
It serves you rich guys right that you're here next to me.
There was nothing about your crimes?
No.
So all this rumor you hear all the time about people in prison that commit the type of crimes you commit, that's, you're saying in your personal...
Again, another guy who's just like so closely connected to Trump, Trumpism as a movement. And here he is. Here he is just fucking chilling with Jeffrey Epstein. No notes. Remember when he bombed the city of Meant as an apology to her? Where did he bomb for? No, I think it was to bomb. I think it was to bomb Yugoslavia. Right? Am I crazy? No.
Thing is not true.
I think, yeah, it was Yugoslavia.
It was all because you were rich.
Yes.
And Bannon did not return messages from CNN, but said in a statement to the New York Times that his communication with Epstein was all done to, quote, secure 50 hours of interviews from a reclusive subject. For more on this, I want to bring in David Urban, former Trump campaign advisor and CNN senior political commentator. David, great to see you. You're shaking your head. I want to get to why in just a second. You know, the 25th Amendment reference from the Epstein files has caused some uproar inside the MAGA sphere. It's dated December 31st, 2018, and it's a text exchange between Bannon and Epstein. And we should note the context is unclear, but Bannon says going to blow him up right out of the box. White House has zero plans to punch back. Fort Apache with no cavalry en route. Jeffrey Epstein then says in No Soldiers in the Fort, he is really borderline, not sure he what.
Bro, does mainstream media have like a ping issue? Am I crazy? I had to literally check to see when they're covering this story. I think I covered the story, like 3 weeks ago? Are they, like, what is this delay? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm glad that CNN is finally getting around to this massive deal. But, like, it's not even a Piker Broadcasting Service, like, Tomorrow's News Today type shit. Like, it's been fucking weeks, man. No, I don't think I'm ahead of the curve, chat. I don't think I'm ahead of the curve at all. This is like, this one freaks me out a little bit, where they're just like, they're taking their sweet ass time with this shit. Like, at this pace, we'll get to the Israel stuff with Jeffrey Epstein maybe like in a year or two. And yeah, you know his ass is not gonna, you know their ass ain't posting all roads lead to Beijing or Tel Aviv. Tariff wrestling, Shi Kim judo. You showed this before you went to Qatar. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of files. Man, there are a lot of files. And guess what? There are a lot of matters of incredible importance. And this is one of them. And this isn't even like a tricky narrative that is going to take a while to, like, you know, massage and figure out what, like, the best possible editorial control would look like. This is just, you could just immediately cover it, right? I know there are a lot of files, but it just doesn't make any sense that they would take this much time to finally fucking sift through and arrive at the Steve Bannon files. I guess, like I said, you know, 2 to 3 years out, 2 to 3 years from now, we'll finally arrive at maybe Jeffrey Epstein was an asset for the Israeli state. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I covered it on February 4th. Jeffrey Epstein's biggest failure was that he died before he could have just done a right-wing pivot.
But now we have emails of a different side of the...
February 4th.
He may do, and then Bannon replies, I think it's beyond borderline 25th Amendment. Now, we reached out to Bannon on this exchange and have not received a response, but people like Roger Stone and Marjorie Taylor Greene are speaking out. So tell me about why you were shaking your head and tell me what you were hearing in...
I will say this. The reason why Roger Stone and, like, Laura Loomer or whoever the fuck is, like, speaking out is speaking out because they're all sharks. It's the same like explosive, the catastrophic fucking chaos that took place when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, right? Because these guys are all sharks and the knives are out at all times. They're not, like, actually mad that, you know, Steve Bannon was, like, homies with Jeffrey Epstein. They're just using this as an opportunity to gain leverage, to be like, no, you should be me. You should have me as your guy. Why do you have him as your guy? Little do they fucking know, they have him as his guy because Steve, you know who else was Donald Trump's guy? Jeffrey fucking Epstein. That's it. That's the reason why he's there. He's having that conversation.
Inside the president's supporters.
Yeah, so, you know, John, you said also, you know, you left out General Flynn and many, many others. If you go to Twitter and just look at, you know, MAGA influencers or just Google, you know, or put in the Twitter search, Bannon, Epstein, see what comes up. There is not one supporter, not one MAGA person that's supporting Steve Bannon for a variety of reasons. One, it looks like he signed up to try to rehabilitate a person who committed horrendous sex crimes. You hear him in the interview with Jeffrey Epstein. He doesn't say, nobody in prison talked to you about being a pedophile. He doesn't call him out. He's trying to be polite to him, it seems. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And there's something like 19 other hours of tape that have yet to been released that Steve Bannon says that he's keeping because he was some sort of double secret agent and was going to really try to blow Jeffrey Epstein up. Well, Roger Stone...
Oh, he was trying to blow Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe not blow him up, but...
Others in the MAGA universe think...
Are any of us a single step closer to control politically, etc.? Every day, baby. Every day our movement grows. Every day our movement grows. We're one step closer.
That's a crock. And if Steve Bannon is going to be out there trying to defend himself, he better get out there quickly because the narrative does not look good for Steve Bannon at this point. It looks like he was out there to line his pockets defending a sex offender.
How do you think the president will react to all of this?
Listen, so Steve Bannon got a pardon at one point in time along the route here. We know that they were close. I am, from what I hear lately is that there have not been that much communication with Steve Bannon and any senior officials in the administration.
TMZ has a new pic of Andrew with a kid playing with a ball that's painted like a breast with a nipple protruding from it. What the fuck? Former Prince Andrew turned fun bags into kicks for kids with some very unprincely photos obtained by TMZ. No, I'm not going to throw a fa in there. This is disgusting. Bro, this guy, put him under the prison. What are we doing? What the fuck? I don't even know if it's like, if these are like weird coincidences or if it's just like, he's just a straight up like Illuminati style sex pervert.
In lieu of these revelations, and I can't imagine that the 25th Amendment revelation inures him to the president any more than he's far away, getting further, and I know that this most recent revelation is going to push that boat even further away from this administration.
Yeah, again, we'll have to see if the president is asked in any detail about this, but that comment about the 25th Amendment was 2018. It's hard to imagine what was going through Bannon's head at that point. David Urban, thank you for explaining the discussions that are taking place.
Not going away, John. Not going away.
Doesn't appear to be. David Urban, thank you.
A new twist in the Epstein files is playing out as we speak. Les Wexner, the billionaire former owner of Victoria's Secret, is giving congressional testimony, a deposition in Ohio, about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Just a short time ago, Wexner told lawmakers, quote, "I was conned, I have done nothing wrong, and I have nothing."
Yeah, these guys all love coming out and being like, I'm a victim, by the way. I don't think you guys get it. Like, I'm actually the real victim, not the victims that I victimize. Me. Billionaire Les Wexner, owner of L Brands, Victoria's Secret, owner of half of Ohio.
This morning, the United States.
Yeah, Trump hasn't made a final decision on potential strikes on Iran. Let's be fucking real. This is going to be obviously something that we're going to be talking about this entire weekend.